FOOTY258 here, back again. I'm your host, Jordan Antonio Brown, and today we've got with me our first ever episode on this channel where we're going to be talking about investing. Haven't thought of a name yet. I might name it after our guest who we have on. Probably something like "Don't Go Broke" or something like that. You know,
Go Broke.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good name, maybe. But today we have with me Jay Money, the owner of Souls.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got him on to talk about investing. How are you doing, bro? How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Had a busy weekend, but there's no football on this weekend, so ready to get into it, man.
So I see you got a top on. What is that, your club?
It's my second club. It's obviously I'm Irish, so it's gotta support Celtic.
You know, Catholic, obviously there's a whole divide there with Rangers, Celtic. So yeah, you're probably
I mean, until the season's done, I won't talk too much in it.
Yeah, I see Rangers, they dropped points yesterday, so
Yeah, exactly. I think we're 1 point behind now.
yeah, so you guys are stepping up the chase on them.
Let them get.
We're talking about football. So who's your first team? Who's the first team you support?
Unfortunately, it's Arsenal. Yeah, unfortunately, it's Arsenal. Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're not doing too bad at the moment, but it's pain. It is pain.
who was the one who actually got you supporting them? Was it a family member or was it Thierry Henry?
You know what? I don't actually remember exactly how, but the first memory I have of watching football is the '98 World Cup. So it probably was Thierry Henry, to be fair.
Fair enough. Yeah, he did his thing as a young boy in that tournament. That was probably where he came out as a young talent, and I think he got picked instead of Anelka. I think Anelka stayed at home for that one, and it was him and Trezeguet who went there. Get into your brand. Tell the people what it is and what you do exactly. How did it start?
Okay, so my business is where I basically started all my social media stuff from. So Sold Souls is a sneaker reselling business, and I mostly built it up over social media. Posting pictures, posting memes about shoes, stuff like that, just growing that brand, and it's become like a really successful business for me. And on the back of that is where I started giving, say, first it was purely tips about reselling shoes, but then people started picking up, like I knew loads of other bits and pieces as well about business, just about like side hustle, stuff like that. So I started making content around that. Then again, people started picking up, okay, he knows about crypto, he knows about stocks. So I started talking about investing as well, saving money, just things in general to help people, kind of manage their money better, I guess.
Yeah, it makes sense. You do a great job. I followed you. I can't remember how I came across you, but I was like, wow, I've never seen someone so young. And when you see somebody around your age, I'm not quite sure how old are you.
27.
Okay, 27. I'm 25. When you see somebody who is around your age doing what you're doing, it's very inspiring to be like to yourself, he's my age, so there's no excuses. And that's basically what you say.
It's relatability for me. So like I watch other people and say YouTube, say like Gary V, sometimes like Grant Cardone, people like that, but they're so far ahead of where I am. There's not much of a gap in between. So you might just be maybe just making ends meet now, and you need to learn how to make an extra £500 a month. And I think that's where my content comes in handy, because it's realistic. Like if I say, okay, this will get you an extra £200 a month, there's people who are going to think, okay, like £200 a month is not astronomical, but that's going to help me get to the next level. So yeah, that's what I try and do, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You give, motivation to people where they can say, you know what, I got a phone, I got some internet. I can actually go out there and make, a side hustle or extra bit of money. There's actually really no excuses on that end. And, like you said, the gap is not as big as people think. But because we're living in a new age with social media and followers and everything, they probably think, you know what I mean? You're closer to Gary Vee than they are to you, type of thing.
Yeah, this literally bridges the gap. Like this is the this is the bridge right here.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about TikTok, how you blew that up. How did that happen, and how do you make that happen?
So TikTok is originally, I made a TikTok to promote my business. 2019, I saw TikTok was starting to pick up. So I made a TikTok to promote my business. And then I think I made like one video with my face in it. Then people like started, I think it got more views than before. I was just showing the shoes. So it got more views. So then I started to make more videos with my face in it. And it was all just revolving sneakers. But then after a while, people like started to follow me as a person and like start asking about me. So then I started to make different types of videos. And then yeah, the videos just kept on doing well. And with me, when it comes to social media, I like to learn it. Like I like to get to know the algorithm. Like I watch other people's videos to see what's working for them, and then I implement it in mine. So I just learned TikTok, and then to the point where like I have so many different accounts now. Like I've got my own account, like my personal account. I've got an account just for my tips. I've got affiliate marketing accounts. I run accounts for other businesses. So yeah, I just learned TikTok inside out really. And I think if you're trying to build your business or your personal brand, then you got to jump on it. Yeah, 100%.
That was actually my next question. I'm going to ask you, how do you grow your brand? What is the best way? Because I think people don't realize that, it starts with just a spark and an idea that actually gets something going. And like you said, you started with sneakers and then it evolved into, putting your face out there and whatnot. Um, you know, talk about the importance of having multiple streams of income also, and how do you get to that point of growing your brand?
Yeah, so when people start a business, usually, like, say, for the people we're talking about, they're going to start with no money, really. Like, you might have saved a bit of money from your job, but even if you save that money, imagine you save 10, 20 grand, most of that's probably going to go into stock or something similar to that. And you won't even have a marketing budget, but TikTok is literally free. And the amount of people you can reach from 0 followers, you can make a video today for your brand and it can get 1 million views tomorrow. And that's no joke. I've seen it happen, like 100% can happen. So that's the importance, is the organic reach. That sort of views you'd be paying thousands of pounds for. So take advantage of it. It's really important for your business right now. That's where the majority of eyes are. I'd say a lot of, say, people under 30, I'd say that's the main platform for them now. And if that's your target audience, then you need to jump on it. You can use it for side hustles as well, like I've talked about in some of my videos. So again, with 0 followers, you can set up an account tomorrow. And if you're doing drop shipping, if you're doing affiliate marketing, if you've got a service to offer people, you're going to get views from day one. So to start, a second income on TikTok is really, really easy right now.
What is the last thing about TikTok? What is the number one thing you would say that you have to do on TikTok to actually elevate your platform to, a platform like yours? What is the secret, instead of just like posting videos or whatever?
If you want a like a long-term, platform where you're going to have an authentic, engaged audience, you got to be true to yourself and authentic with your content. So people trust faces on TikTok. So I could go on anyone's TikTok account right now, people will see my face.
Yep.
And they're going to be happy that they've seen my face because they know I've not, given them no BS all this time. They trust me. They're happy to hear my content. But if you're just doing things for views and clickbait, then people are going to get bored of you soon. So yeah, be authentic, be true to yourself. And I think in the long run, you're always going to, have that good platform there.
Yeah, like you mentioned, literally, back in the day, people used to talk about, or even now, people even talk about one-hit wonders, whether that's with music or, business and stuff. People are doing things for the wrong reasons, maybe just for a quick cash grab. So
Yeah,
like you said, it's better to, build your legacy, build your brand, make sure people believe in you, a cult following and everything. And then over a long period of time, you're going to see more money instead of just seeing a quick rise and a quick
exactly.
fall at the start. So
Exactly. You never know how long one platform's gonna survive for. So you need to have that core fan base that you can translate to other platforms, and then they're gonna stick with you. Yeah.
yeah. So obviously we're a football channel. We're going to be talking about, investing, like I said. Um, you know, I asked you already, did you watch football? I haven't asked you, did you watch football? I asked you what teams you support. But yeah, growing up, obviously you support Celtic and Arsenal. You know, talk to me about your upbringing in football and, some type of memories that you have.
Yeah, so I grew up in like North East London. So the closest teams to me were actually Leyton Orient, Tottenham, and then probably Arsenal after that. So yeah, everyone around me supported either Arsenal or Tottenham. Used to play for Leyton Orient's development team. I wasn't really that good at football, to be honest. I used to play in goal. I was all right. I was never great. So, but I always loved football growing up. Like just one of them ones. Every day after school, go to the park, play football. Try get to games where possible. I wasn't really going to Arsenal games, but because my school was in East London, they used to give us free tickets to Leyton Orient all the time. So yeah, I just grew up loving football, I guess.
Yeah, man, that's good. Didn't know you were a goalkeeper. What made you decide to be a goalkeeper?
Um, I did like David Seaman and Jens Lehmann growing up. I think it might have been from that. Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Like I did move outfield after, but I started off in goal, which was weird because I was like really fast and athletic.
Hmm.
So being in goal didn't really make too much sense, but I did like it, to be honest. And that's where my little brother plays now. So it might have just been something in the family, I guess.
You just mentioned your little brother. He plays football, and who does he play for? And how much have you inspired him? Maybe you never know. You played football. You were interested in football. How much have you inspired him to, do his thing as well?
Yeah, I don't want to admit it, but he's much better than I ever was. So I don't think I had him. But yeah, no, he plays for Boreham Wood right now. He's come up through there. I think it's called the Pro Based Academy,
Mhm.
and he's a goalkeeper. So he's on the fringes, but he's been on the bench for a lot of the league games this season. Obviously, Boreham Wood they're still in the FA Cup actually. They've had a really good cup run into the fourth round, or is it fourth or fifth round now? They're into the latest round anyway, the FA
I think
Cup.
fourth
So
round, fourth round.
yeah, yeah. So it's really good to like see the club he's playing for. You know, just they got further than Arsenal. So like
Yeah,
that's
it's
my
crazy.
team. That's my team right now. That's my team right now. So, but yeah, I hope he's learned from me, like money wise, because he has worked for me, you know, in the past. But now obviously where he's playing football, he's not really he's got to focus on that. But I feel like he's learned a lot for me. So if hopefully touch wood he does, you know, have a long career in football and he knows how to manage his money, then I guess.
Yeah, you rubbed yourself out for no reason. I think, you obviously inspired him because he's a goalkeeper. You said you were a goalkeeper. He's a goalkeeper. You definitely, without realizing, inspired him. And hope your brother has a really good journey coming in the coming years. Did you grow up with any other footballers? Did you know any footballers growing up in your area?
To be honest, I can't think of anyone who's gone pro. There might have been like people who were say maybe maximum League Two. I don't think they're still playing anymore though, to be honest.
Yeah.
There was a couple older people, there was like on the books, they got pro contracts with say Arsenal. I know someone got pro contract with Man City, but for one reason or another it didn't pan out. Like things didn't work out for them. Yeah.
Yeah, so perfect segue into what we're actually gonna mainly be talking about today. We're speaking about footballers. Like, what's your thoughts on, them going pro and then them going broke, basically? Like,
Yeah.
do you see how it happens? Like, how do you think it
I,
happens?
I, I can see how it happens. Like I'm not gonna lie and say I can imagine how much it feels to be on 100 grand a week. Like I can't imagine being 19, 20, getting offered a 40 grand a week contract if you're a Premier League footballer, then being 23 and on, you know, 100 grand a week. I can't imagine that. But I can see how you're young, you're famous, you got, you know, everything at your feet, like girls, clubs, drink. I can see how you can spend all the money and just think, I've got another 10 years. I can just make the money back. So I can see how it happens. But you never know what's gonna happen in life. Like you never know. So even if it's 20%, put 20% away, like that's not gonna affect your lifestyle at all. So I
Mm.
think, yeah, you just need to be a little bit sensible, but enjoy yourself if you can. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Of course. Actually, by the way, do you actually have you ever supplied anyone in the industry with your
With shoes.
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, quite a lot of people. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Any footballers?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I won't name drop too many, but one of my favorite footballers, um, you know what? I just forgot his name now. James McLean. Sorry, James McLean. I know he don't play for Surrey, but he's one of them, man. So yeah, that was like the first time I supplied like someone who I actually
Right.
rate. So I mean, I've supplied other people, but yeah, that was one that really like I was gassed about. Yeah.
Fair enough, man. Shows you're getting out there. Going back to the shoes and the sneakers. Have you ever thought about maybe creating a lane in that regard? Talking about not only, but providing a service for footballers, or let's say people in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it before, just being like what do they call it, like a personal shopper.
Yeah.
There is demand there. I could still do it, but personally, that's not the route I want to go down. To be honest, I don't want to be the face of a company. I want it to run without me, basically. And I feel like with a personal shopper, it's too much of a personal connection. And
Hmm.
if I wanted to go on holiday for a month, I'd
Yeah.
have my phone ringing down all the time, and that's not for me, really. Yeah.
Fair enough, man. Time and happiness over money. That is something that we strive to get to in this life. Talking about sports and everything like that. Um, you promote betting for your links and stuff. Um, when you're promoting stuff like that, are you conscious about promoting betting because what type of rabbit holes that can lead down to?
Yeah. So it is controversial. Like, so it's called match betting, and it's meant to be. If you don't know about match betting, it's meant to be an outcome where you can't lose if you do it right.
Mhm.
So um, it's betting, but it's not gambling because if you follow the right steps, they will tell you how much money you're going to make. So I am aware though that of course someone could sign up and they've never been on a betting website before, and now they can think, oh, it's fun. But the website I promote it through, they give a lot of tools and calculators. Like if you go on the website, it just looks like an accounting website or something. Like it's all about numbers, it's all about percentages. Like it doesn't look fun. It's literally like a money making website. But I am aware that gambling, it can lead down the wrong path. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a big thing in football, what people don't really know. Of course, you're not allowed to bet on games and you get in severe trouble and bans and suspensions when you do that. But not being able to do that, then, footballers end up betting on other things which they might not be as knowledgeable about other than football. You get it? Like, I think if footballers were actually allowed to bet on football, then maybe they would win a lot more money. But when you go to the casino, like you said,
Maybe there should be a limit to like the bet they can place or something.
yeah, I think there's something in place where all these companies they do have caps on spending limits and stuff, but it's never enough. Going down that path. And speaking about things like this, Crystal Palace they just opened a 3-year aftercare program,
Yeah.
which we have a video coming out on this channel
Okay.
about. What advice would you give to someone like who's dropped out of football and they are facing these type of problems? How would you advise them?
Yeah. So I see that about Crystal Palace, and I think I commented on one of the posts about it. If you have been let go from an academy and you're still probably going to try to get a place at another team. But if worst case scenario you have to get a job, think about your skills right now. If you've been putting in the work to get to play for a football team, you're probably really physically fit. You've got a lot of knowledge on football. Take them skills and try and apply it to something else. Like you could do coaching, you could do PT, You could do so much things revolving fitness and football. Just try and use what you love to get you through whatever transitional period you're in, rather than just sitting at home and thinking, I'm going to have to go and learn a trade straight away. Like, if you love playing football, you can find jobs around football. So that'd be my first thing, to try and find a job around football. And then once you've got some income coming in, and you're just got a bit more clarity, then you can start looking into other things, like long-term things. But I wouldn't give up hope straight away. I'd definitely just try and find something that you like doing. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You have a brother, you mentioned. Let's not use your brother, for example, but let's use if you had a son.
Yeah.
And, your son, he makes it all the way through the academies and everything like that, up until the first team. Let's say he gets his first big contract. What are the steps you would take to make sure that he's financially secure forever?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's before it even gets to that stage, your parents kind of subconsciously inbuild things into you that you didn't know. So, say, for example, as soon as they sign their apprenticeship contract, or I don't know what it's called, like, the
Scholarship.
scholarship. Yeah. So as soon as they signed that, I would have been saying to them, look, you need to give half of that to me for rent. So I'm putting things in their mind already that, okay, I'll get paid £300 a week, but I only have 150 left. So hopefully when they sign that pro contract, when it's time for me to say to them, look, you're getting, 20 grand a week now, make sure you put 10 of that into this account, or make sure you give 10 of that to me, and I will, do whatever I do with that. So when the time comes and you need that in the future, then you haven't, but hopefully they can think on their own 2 feet by that stage. But I guess at 18, it's hard to convince someone to put money away in an ISA, or to put money away into stocks, or into, an index fund. It's going to be hard. But I think the steps start before that. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, I think the key thing you said is it probably starts with the guardians and the parents and the agents, because those are the only people that you probably can get, something out of these kids coming through. You're not really going to listen to some guy coming in a suit or whatever, trying to give you advice, because it happens. They come in all the time, they give you advice on what you should do with your money and everything like that. And most of it, they're telling you to put it in bonds, really. Stuff that you probably don't understand,
You make no money off.
You make no money off, or you can make money off more other things, and you might as well just save it instead of putting it in bonds anyway. I think it really does need to start with the parents. And if the parents are financially educated in that regard, because they might not be financially educated either. They might be in this exact same position as you are,
Yeah. How I think, like you're saying, it starts with the parents. Say, for example, now my child is 18 and they've signed a pro contract, or I know they're about to. And I know that I don't have to work another day in my life if they sign that pro contract. I'm going to take it upon myself to learn about finances. Like, if they're going to look after me now, I think that we need to, like, stop being naive and think, oh, it's the club's responsibility to do this, it's a club's responsibility to do that. If you're going to accept, all that money from your son or whoever, your daughter, you need to, take some responsibility yourself and try and help them out. Like, there's loads of players who their parents are the agents, their brothers are the agents. So I'm sure that wasn't their original job. They've taken their time out to learn about the business side of football to help their family. So I think more people could look into that and, help out the footballers that way. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so many rabbit holes we can go down, and we'd be here forever if we were doing that. But just thinking about, getting your first professional contract, there's so many things that is coming at you. You got friends, you got girls, you've got agents, you might have sponsorship deals, you might have all of this, and it's so hard to then go from knowing nothing to then learning everything while you're so focused on playing football. I think that's where they get caught up. And I'll give you a little bit pushback on the club's responsibility, because the club's responsibility is that they do tell you to just focus on football. So if the club is only telling you to focus on football, then how are you going to make time and learn from all of, or not even make time? How are you going to channel your mind? Yeah, because we're forgetting that people might not know the things that both of us, especially you know? So how are these kids, when they don't know anything, gonna change their mind? I think the club does need a little bit more responsibility.
I understand what you're saying about the club, but I still think I'm not saying it's the player's responsibility. I think the parents should step up, but the clubs could do more. You're right. The clubs could do more because it's in their best interest as well that the player's not out in libertine every weekend doing a madness. Like it's going to help them as well. So I think there could be more stuff done from both sides. To be honest, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a wild life. It's a wild life.
I couldn't imagine having that money at that young age. Like, I'm not saying I'd do anything mad, but I'd be thinking about it. I can't lie, I'd be thinking about it.
Yeah. What are the things? Obviously, your field is not specialized in footballers, but your field specialized in investing and finances and everything. What particular things would you do, such as pension funds and everything like that? What would you advise a footballer watching to do?
I mean, the boring investments, I would say index funds, 100%, like a solid index fund, like a S&P 500 or FTSE. But well, except for the boring stuff, I would say try and find something to invest in that you actually like. So not footballers, but say like Fredo, he invested in Kick Game, and he seems to be loving it, to be honest. Like he's put up the Shopify numbers, like he's bragging about the numbers a legit business makes him. There's loads of footballers who are interested in trainers and stuff like that. So maybe find someone who you trust. Like maybe I'm sure when you get money, you start to get friends in different places. So by that time, they might have a friend who's involved in a fashion brand. Like even look at Mane Devar, you have Reese, who was an ex-footballer. I'm sure if a pro reached out to him and said, bro, I'm looking to invest in a fashion brand. Can you give me any advice? You have people like that to turn to. So apart from the boring stuff, obviously, probably best to put a good chunk into like a pension or into an index fund. But I think if you have something that you actually are interested in to invest in, then you might be more likely to be smart with your money that way. Yeah.
Let's get really into it and let's explain some of the things you just mentioned. You mentioned S&P 500. I know what that is, but maybe people watching, they have no clue what that is because I didn't know what that was until like 3-4 years ago, and I'm 25. So explain to everybody watching what that is, and explain to everybody watching some other things that you might invest in.
Yeah, so an index fund is basically a collection of stocks. So if one company does really well and one company does really bad, it kind of balances out in the middle. And S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in America. So you'd have like Facebook, I think Tesla's in there. You'd have like a good level companies where I'm not going to say it's not financial advice. It's not a safe investment, but it's considered as a safer investment. So that's what an index fund is. But yeah, you should definitely look into it because it's not as complicated as it sounds. Like nowadays, you can invest from your phone. Like literally, before when I started looking into investing, I think it was an AXA account I had, and it was really complicated then. But now it's so easy. You'd be a fool not to just even look. Just download the app and look. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when the first time I like looked into everything like that, and people were telling me about that AXA account and everything, and I was proper confused. It was basically it's broker, no?
Yes, yeah.
It's a broker where you have a middleman where you're transferring your money through, and they're the ones who are doing the investing for you pretty much. So yeah, now you have it in your phone.
Exactly.
Things like apps like Free Trader, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think Free Trades is the most accessible one. A lot of them have waiting lists now because like the last year or two it's gone crazy. But yeah, you could definitely just download the app, you don't even have to put any money in, and just have a look at what happens every day on it. And if I find it interesting, like see putting in, say, £100 and seeing 2 weeks later £110 for me is quite exciting. So
Yeah. Many people though, they might have an approach of, yeah, I'm not really interested in, earning £10 or whatever. I'm on
yeah.
not million, sorry, thousands a week and thousands a year. So why am I interested in, growing that little bit of money in the short term, but explain to people what the long term is about?
Yeah, so it's like a big example. Everyone uses S&P 500 as an example. So I think over the last 100 years, over a 10-year span, the S&P 500 has never lost someone money. So if you put in your money in 2010 and took it out in 2020, you would you haven't lost any money. Like, I don't think it's happened once over a 10-year span in the last 100 years. So it's again, not financial advice, it's a safer option. If you just want a way to beat inflation, that's a good option to beat inflation. Also, it kind of compounds. So if you're doing it over a 10-20 year period, over that period, it might have gone up like 300%. So if you look at it in a long-term sense, what other passive investment is going to give you that sort of return? Literally, like you said, you can download the app on your phone. If you're a footballer, you could put in 100 grand today, 10 years time, take out 100 grand, just press sell on your phone, and then that's it. Like, you don't have to deal with no contract selling houses or businesses. So yes, it's I guess it's a passive sort of investment.
Yeah. Moving on to the next subject, credit. That's something that is so taboo in, let's say, for example, the culture that I'm from, whether that be urban London, if you want to call it that. Credit, I always knew what credit was. I didn't understand it. I had to learn it. What type of things shouldn't you be doing, even as a footballer, to mess up your credit? And what type of things should you be doing to improve your credit?
Yeah, so I'm from similar like sort of background where people had credit because they couldn't afford things. It wasn't good credit, it was always bad credit, like it was bad debt. So once you get past that stage of real, like if you're getting a bit of money now, you'll realize that credit can actually make you money, or even if it's not making you money, it's just giving you a better use of your money. So say if you're 18 and you're just looking into building up your credit as a young footballer or whatever, I would say you already probably had a phone contract, so get your phone contract in your name, so your mum's name or whoever's it was in. Register on the electoral roll, that will help your credit. And then if you have a decent credit now, you should be able to apply for a credit building credit card. Even if you're just using it for your food, your petrol, and then paying it off straight away, it's going to help build your credit. So hopefully you can start that from young. If you're watching from young, start it from young. By the time you're earning good money, or hopefully you're earning good money, then you could start to use credit for like all sorts of things. So there's credit cards like the is it an Amex Centurion card, where they offer you, it's like, or it might be called Amex Black Card depending on where you are. There's a yearly fee, but if you're if you're spending a lot of money, it more than makes up for it. So they're going to offer you free like first class upgrades, lounges, concierge at every hotel. They're going to offer you cars when you land somewhere. So like in the future, that will help you a lot. Yeah, probably save you some money as well.
Definitely save you some money. These things are things that people don't really know about, the perks that they give to the wealthy people, when
I mean they get a transaction fee every time you use their card, so they're going to look after you. If you're spending £1 million a year on a credit card, you're going to be one of their top customers, so it makes sense for them to look after you. You're going to have to spend that money anyway, so you might as well spend it where you're going to get something back, I'd say.
Yeah, just what you mentioned, people don't realize, right? Visa and MasterCard, how do they make their money, for example? People don't even know
Yeah.
those type of
Yeah.
things.
So Yeah, so like you just tap your debit card, your credit card, and you think that's it. But like because I'm a business owner, like I can see it from my end. Every card processing company I use has a transaction fee. Some are higher than others. Some credit cards charge a higher transaction fee than others. So they're making money off you, regardless if it's a debit card or a credit card. So um, you know, they're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. They're doing it because they're making money. But again, there's loads of companies that are going to give you rewards for being a customer for them. So you might as well do it. Yeah.
Yeah, even talk about things like cashback cards. Just to mention one I know of before, you go into yours, but if anybody's into crypto, for example, there's Plutus. Plutus, if you basically invest a certain amount of money, then this is not financial advice, obviously, but if you invest a certain amount of money, then you get to have, higher cashback, and the highest cashback they offer is actually 8%. And this gives a account and sort code number, attached to your name, and it could save you a lot of money if you're spending on regular things a year. What about you?
Yeah. So that's a good one. There's a lot of, new sort of crypto cashback incentives, which it's basically like a bank. They're paying you to hold your money with them, like a bank does anyway. So, yeah, the crypto cards are really good right now. But just traditional ones, online, I use Top Cashback and Quidco, which is uh, anything you buy online. Most of the websites you can go through there, and they give you up to 10%. If you're taking out something big like a phone contract, it is really worth it. They might give you like £50 at once. So, if you're doing a big purchase, insurance, contract, stuff like that is really good. On a day to day, I use a Chase debit card, which is 1% cash back, and then I use my American Express Gold and Everyday Platinum, because not everywhere actually accepts American Express. So sometimes you need to have a backup card, which is normally
It's always
Chase one.
online. Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, I found a way to get around it online, but in store it's a bit harder. So online, you can actually just link your American Express to your PayPal account,
Okay.
and if they accept PayPal, or even if yeah, if they accept PayPal, then you could just use American Express. Yeah.
What Curve? Is Curve anything of use?
Curve, I'm sure it's you just put all your cards on Curve, don't you? So
Yeah.
it's good. It's good. I mean, personally, I just use Apple Pay, but you can put all your cards on the Curve card, and then you could just tap your Curve card. So yeah, I guess it's good. Yeah.
Okay, I thought, my bad. I thought Curve was like, a certain type of way where you basically put your cards on there, and that would have been allowing you, for example, to spend your gold card, because you have money on that Curve card. I thought it would work like that.
It might do. You're right. You might be able to put your American Express and then tap the Curve card for them to accept it. But personally, I haven't used a Curve card, so I don't know if that works. But it might do. You might be right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just guessing. I've never used Curve, but I know of Curve. Yeah. What pension? Do you believe in pension to begin with? And how would you advise a footballer to
I,
open up a pension?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest fan of pensions. I'm not the biggest fan of pensions, to be honest. I know there's pensions where you can choose your own index funds or whatever for the pension, but I'm not the biggest fan of pensions, to be honest. I don't like locking up money till I
You
reach a
that
certain age.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be able to give any advice on that, because yeah, I'm even trying to like I put a lot of money in. I used to work on the railway, and they had a really good pension scheme. And I left the railway early, and I still have a lot of money in that scheme. And I'm even thinking, if I just had that money now, like what I could do with that money would be mad. But I mean, yeah, I mean, if if that's something something you're considering, I would say there's loads of options out there. It doesn't have to be a traditional pension. Just there's loads of options that are gonna let you invest your pension in different ways. So yeah.
Insurance. Do you have a particular insurance that you use, and what would you advise in insurance, life insurance?
Life insurance, I'm not gonna lie, I don't actually use life insurance. Just business wise, I have like public liability insurance, home insurance, but life insurance is probably something I should look into. But just, I don't know, it's just not something I've really not something I've really thought about. I don't have no kids, don't have a wife.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe when that time comes, I'll be forced to look into it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, the people who do have that, that is very important. And, when you're gone, who does your money go to? Things like
Exactly.
that.
Like,
But
what I would say though, sorry to cut you off. Even if you don't have life insurance, look into making up a will.
yep.
You can do, there's packs online where they give you a free template, or you can get like a better one. It's like £20. But that's easy to do, to be honest. Yeah. Even my friend sent me one to be a witness on his one the other day, and it's quite easy to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people don't like talking about that, don't like looking into that because it's just things that people don't like thinking about. They don't even want to put that energy into things. But, what does happen when, you are gone? That is very
Yeah,
important.
it's not a good topic to think about, but at the end of the day, you work hard for your money, and you don't want, when the time comes, the government to take whatever you earn. So yeah.
Yeah, I think people, working in the industry of football, clubs and stuff, they have to think about bringing in people like yourself, to talk about things like this because it's very important. I think if you, spoke to a lot of footballers, they would change their ways. And because you can, I don't know, like you already mentioned it, but you can relate to people more than other people can. It's just it's just logic in looking at your social media accounts. Not to say numbers mean everything, but in this day and age it kind of does. Especially follows. Now follows are not really something that is big in social media because people are always scrolling. They don't need to follow you, type of thing. But people watch what you do and they stay on your page. um you know that just do a little recap of the things we mentioned. So, what are the three most important things? Let's say, for example, if you're on a big contract or not, what are the three things if you're a footballer that you're doing in 2022?
If it was me personally, I would, yeah, definitely be putting away whatever I'm happy with. So I always like to say saving shouldn't affect your quality of life. So if you live a certain lifestyle, if you're a footballer and you go in Dubai every whatever, and you can afford to spare 30% a week, then that's what you do. If you can afford to spare 50%, then that's what you do. So I'll be putting away money. You got to learn to save before you can invest. So put away the money first, then find a financial advisor, someone like that, who's going to give you some good investment advice, and then start to trickle down, invest in your money that way. So that would be first thing I do: save, then invest. And then thirdly, I mean, I think we touched on it before, but probably just get my mental health right. Like, so much going on nowadays with social media. Um, like, people's private lives are exposed. So if you haven't got your mental right, then you're probably not going to be the best with your money either. You're not going to be the best on the field. So who knows? Like, that could affect your career. So more important than money is your mental health. So definitely would get my mental health right. Speak to people that you can relate to. Speak to people who've been there in the past. So people like yourself who've had experience in football already, and you've got that knowledge to pass down to the younger generation. I would definitely try and reach out to people like you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on. Obviously, plug your social medias and everything you got going on.
So yeah, my socials: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube is JVSOP. That's JAYVSOP. Then my business, Sold Souls, same again, Sold Souls on everything. So if you want some kicks, check that out. But yeah, I appreciate you having me on here to have this conversation. I think it's something that doesn't get talked about a lot. And it's an important topic, 100%.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. This was J Money, aka I'm Just Broke Baby.
Hey,
And I think we're gonna call this segment "Don't Go Broke."
yeah,
There we
don't
go.
go.
There we go. We're gonna call this segment "Don't Go Broke." I was your host, Jordan Antonio Brown. We're out.
For more content like this, like, share, and subscribe.